Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. You know, I wanted to feel like I was still in summer mode, so I put on this like fun outfit, and I don't care if it's raining, I don't care if it's cloudy. I feel good. How do you feel? Do you feel good? It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful Wednesday. And tomorrow is the start of the summer solstice. Yeah, I get so excited for summer. I really, really do. Which means that tomorrow is also 1 month away from my birthday, which makes me really, really happy and excited. I love my birthday. I'm one of those people that I love it. I love to celebrate it. It's a thing. But that's not why you're here. You're not here to hear me talk about that. You're here because you want me to talk about your vagina. That's why we're here, to talk about your vagina, my vagina, all the vaginas, all the people and their vaginas. And that's why we're here, to talk about all of this stuff, right? So thanks for joining me again today, Wednesday, here in the Goddess Gang et al. And we're going to talk about vaginas, and we're going to talk about some vaginal health stuff. So tomorrow is the summer solstice, which means things are going to start to heat up. July and August are definitely two of my favorite months in the entire year. But like, it gets hot. It gets hot. It gets sweaty. It gets sexy. It gets moist. I know some of you people don't like that word, but I don't care if you don't like that word. I love the word moist. I'm going to say it again just because. And, you know, it's fun, and we live a carefree life, and we're drinking, we're smoking, we're dancing, we're sweating, we're working out, we're having a good time, and we're just living it up, especially for those of us here in Canada, because the hot season is like, it's kind of time limited, right? So we try and like soak it in as much as we can. But one thing you don't want to soak in this summer is bacteria in your vagina. You don't want to soak that in. You really don't. So let's start by talking about the reasons why you might have some funk in your junk. Okay, so there's a variety of different reasons why you might have some funkiness happening in your junk. So the first reason why, especially at this time of year, is you may be susceptible or more highly susceptible to vaginal yeast infections, right? So some people are just naturally more susceptible to vaginal yeast infections. It's a thing. Candida runs through us. So some things that I like to do or encourage some women to do is to get stuff like foot baths. If you don't know what a foot bath, look up ionic foot bath. It helps pull out all of the candida out of your system. Find a biofeedback or health professional, and they'll have a really great ionic foot bath machine for you to try out, and I love it. It just pulls all of that candida out of your system. So some of us just naturally have more candida in our system. So why are you having a funky junk? Yeast infections. That's number one. Number two reason why you might have some funk in your junk is you may have an STI. Straight up. That's just what it is. So if you follow me, you'll know that one of the things that I say is the most common symptom of an STI is no symptom at all. Okay, so let me say that again. The most common symptom of an STI is no symptom at all. However, that doesn't mean that symptoms don't exist. Symptoms do exist. So chlamydia, really, especially if you're in my city, chlamydia apparently is a thing. Ask the health unit. Chlamydia, gonorrhea, trichomoniasis, right? These are all infections that that may go unnoticed for a long period of time and will over time cause some irregularities, cause potentially infertility. That's the word I'm looking for. It's just a day. Infertility, and maybe also be associated with funky smelling discharge, discolored discharges, as well as painful pelvic pain, right? So if something is going on, you might want to go get checked at the health unit, at your doctor's office, right? And all you have to do is pee in a cup. If you have an STI, you just pee in a cup. They give you some pills and away you go. It's really that easy. Nothing to be ashamed of, okay? Number three reason why you might have a funky junk. I just really like saying it. But you may have another form of a bacterial infection, like bacterial vaginosis, right? So things to pay attention to is wiping, right? Wiping from front to back, wiping from the top of your vagina back towards your anus, right? You don't want to go butt to vagina. It's just, you don't want to do that. Even in sex, all right? So here's the thing. Even in sex, you never want to go, so whether you're wiping on the toilet or whether you're having sex, here's the rule. You never want to go butt to vagina, right? Vagina to butt, totally fine. Totally fine. Mouth, penis, fingers, toys, all of that good stuff. Vagina to butt, totally fine. Butt to vagina, not so much. So for those of you who are having a little bit of anal play, I hear it's like the thing of the summer. That's going to be a whole other video, by the way. We're going to talk about butt stuff again because it's a thing of the summer. But like, bacterial vaginosis or bacteria can transfer, right, just from within your own body. So whether you have dirty hands, right, dirty mouth, so if someone's going down on you, or they haven't washed their hands before you've had sex, as well as how you're wiping when you go to the bathroom, right? Are you wiping from front to back, not back to front? That type of thing, right? So avoiding other opportunities for you to transfer bacteria to your vagina, into your urethra, that's also a thing. So another reason why, you might have some funk in your junk. Reason number 4 is change in estrogen levels. Yeah, I know, this is the thing. Like legitimately changes in your estrogen levels. So whether you are perimenopausal, menopausal, whether you are pregnant, whether you are breastfeeding, whether you, it's kind of like the big times, or during your time of the month, right? Your changes in your estrogen levels will contribute to your vagina potentially being more susceptible to becoming a little bit funky, right? Or just naturally will become a little bit funky because of your pH levels, right? So what happens is that when your estrogen levels decrease, that means that your vagina, let me just double check that. Yeah, when your estrogen levels decreases, your vaginal pH increases. There we go. That's how it is. Your vaginal pH increases, which means that it becomes more acidic, right? And this isn't a Venus flytrap. We're not trying to kill anything that's going in there. Right? So you don't necessarily want an acidic vagina. But that's what happens when your estrogen levels start to decrease. So your vagina becomes more acidic, your vaginal walls start to thin out, and you also start to produce less natural lubrication. So it means that if you're producing less natural lubrication, that you are more susceptible to tearing. You are more susceptible to bacteria wanting to find a nice place to call itself its home. So watch out for what your estrogen levels are doing, right? Where are you in your life cycle? Are you menopausal? Are you pregnant? Are you breastfeeding, right? What time of the month are you at? Be aware of what is going on and you're down there, okay? Reason number 4 that you may have some funk in your junk is, did you forget something? Did you forget something in your vagina? And I'm not talking about like a Polly Pocket going to jail scenario. I'm talking about potentially have you changed your tampon if you use tampons? Have you changed your sanitary napkin, your pads, or your panty liners, right? Have you changed your underwear? You know what I mean? Oh, I'm saying, right? You just pay attention. If you're leaving in your tampons for too long, right? That's going to cause your vagina to get a little bit funky because you forget, unless you're also using those 100% natural, you're still putting something in your vagina that doesn't belong there. So the transfer of chemicals and fibers does happen whether you want it to or not, which is why I'm a big proponent of silicone menstrual cups, right? Because what's mine is mine, what's yours is yours, and that's how it stays, and you just wash it out and away we go. And reason number 6 as to why you might have some funk in your junk is your diet. Your diet. What are you eating? Now, this time of year, there's so much good food. Oh my God, there's so much good food. So much good food to eat, so much good food to put in your body. I just want to eat everything. But some of it may be contributing to a funk in your junk. So, beer, right? A lot of yeast in beer. And if you are more susceptible to candida, right, you may be feeding your yeast infection. Right? Another reason, so beer, wheat, processed foods, right? Like hot dogs. I don't eat those things, but like, you know what I mean? But like different processed foods and boxed stuff and deli meats with nitrates and all of that wheat and sugar-rich foods, right? They taste delicious. However, if you're ingesting a lot of that stuff, right, and you're recognizing that, you know, your vagina might be discharging something a little bit funny, that you might be also like have a little bit of an odor, you might want to pay attention to the food that you are eating, because the food that you are eating will contribute to your vaginal health, right? So stay hydrated. Hydration is super, super sexy. So if you are going to be taking in a lot of sugar that day, if you are going to be, you know, heading out to the ball game and you know, eating a hot dog or something, make sure you're drinking some extra water to help flush some of this stuff out of your system. Reason number 7. 7 reasons why your vagina, your junk, you might have some funk in your junk, right? Reason number 7 is you're cleaning it too much. That's a thing. That's actually a thing. You're cleaning your vagina too much, and you know, it's so funny because like you take your bar of soap and you get in there and you just want to just like tear it up and just like, you know, you want it to be so fresh and so clean for whoever it is that's making a visit down there, but like you can actually clean it too much and mess with the pH of your vagina, especially if you're like going in there. You don't gotta go in there, okay? Remember this. Your vagina is a self-cleaning oven. It really is. It's a self-cleaning oven. It's wonderful. It kind of likes to handle its own business, okay? It likes to handle itself. It likes to handle its own business. It likes to do its thing. So when we are taking soaps, especially artificially fragrant soaps, you know, what we are actually doing is that we are stripping our natural juices. We're stripping our natural healthy bacteria that is in our system and causing an imbalance, which may lead to an odor, may lead to susceptibility to bacteria, right? So those are the 7 reasons why you may have some funk in your junk. Now, 4 reasons and 4 tips as to how you can actually get a little bit, you know, a little bit so fresh and so clean, right? How you can be mindful of your vaginal health this summer, right? Like I said, the summer solstice is tomorrow. It's starting to get hot in here. It's starting to get hot. It's starting to heat up. It's, you know, it's leg sticking to patio chair season, all right? It's super, super wonderful. But like, there's some things, there's 4 tips that we can talk about that help keep your vagina so fresh and so clean all summer long. Right? I wrote them out on my Instagram and on my post earlier today, but here they are. So first tip is wear cotton panties. Wear cotton or no panties. Huh? Cotton or no panties. Why? Why do you have to wear panties really all the time? You really don't have to all the time. It's just not completely necessary. But when you're wearing cotton panties, right, the natural fibers, the natural textile will absorb moisture and absorb harmful bacteria, especially at night. Don't sleep with panties. Don't do it. It's not a good look for your vagina. It doesn't like it. Your vagina wants to breathe. Trust me, it super does. It wants to breathe. It is tired of being cooped up all day. So you want to make sure that you're wearing some delicious cotton panties or no panties, right? I love to wear, at this time of year, like summer solstice hits, you pretty much won't catch me in pants. I mean, except for some of those hot summer nights when you got a like bodysuit and a hot pair of jeans on. That's a good look. But but throughout the summer, you'll generally catch me in skirts and dresses all summer long because you want your vagina to breathe, right? So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, wear loose fitted bottoms, right? Wear loose fitted bottoms and change your bottoms throughout the summer, especially if you're getting really, really sweaty. So if you're going to the gym, change your underwear, right? If you're not going to change your pants, at least maybe take off your underwear because your underwear has been soaked with sweat and bacteria, right? So if you're going to go to the gym and you don't have the time to change and go grab the coffee or the tea with your friend after, right? At least in the change room, maybe take off your panties, dry yourself in the bathroom, and then put your pants back on and let some like airflow kind of circulate through there, okay? Also, after the pool, right? After you've been swimming at the pool, you don't want to stay in those shorts or in those bottoms all day long, especially if you're really, really sensitive, right? Because the chemicals from the pool or the bacteria that you get from the water may make you more susceptible to a bacterial infection, okay? Tip number 4, wash yourself. But with water, okay? Wash yourself with water. First of all, never douche. Just, like, I've had people fight me on this before. No, don't douche. It just don't do it. You are a douche if you douche. Because, like I said, your vagina is a self-cleaning oven. It is figuring itself out. But when you're putting harmful and strong stuff shooting it up your vagina, unlike the anus, which the anus can handle it, the vagina doesn't want to handle it. It doesn't like it. Now, vaginal steams, those are different. A vaginal steam, you put some hot water, you drop it into like, a big bowl, you can kind of like sit over it, you let that magic happen. That's fine. That's totally fine because a lot of those steams are made from natural and essential oils and natural herbs and products and that type of thing. So if you're going to steam yourself, right, just make sure you're getting it from a vendor that is very transparent in the ingredient list, okay? But never, just don't douche and avoid fragrances, right? Your vagina doesn't stink, okay? If you are allowing your vagina to breathe, if you are wearing cotton panties, if you are staying hydrated, if all of these things, right? If you're watching what you're eating, if you're washing with water, just nice and being gentle about it, right? You don't have to get in your head about does my vagina smell? Some people are really into that. Just saying. And your partner is also going to be really into that, right? That whole pheromone exchange thing, that's sexy, whether on a conscious or unconscious level. I'm just saying, you don't stink. Trust me. Your vagina is so fresh and so clean and so beautiful. And, it's time to embrace that power, okay? Embrace it. Anyways, tip number 4. Tip number 4, how to keep your vagina so fresh and so clean all summer long is minimize sitting with your legs closed. Just minimize it. I know it looks cute, okay? I know it looks really, really cute. But when you cross your legs, right, you're literally trapping moisture. You're trapping bacteria. You're not allowing for airflow to come through. So just be mindful that if you're sitting with your legs closed a lot, right, that, it's just one of those things to make sure you're just switching your legs or allowing yourself to kind of open up a little bit, right? Sit more why can't I think of how you sit when your legs do this? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Cross-legged, thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. Cross-legged, right? Or just slightly open. It's totally fine. But if you're eating your fresh foods, if you're staying hydrated, you're not sitting with your legs closed too often, you're wearing cotton panties, you're allowing your vagina to breathe at night, right? Things, theoretically speaking, should go really, really well. However, all vaginas are like snowflakes. They're all completely different. So, what is a really great recipe to kind of, help the strength of your vaginal juiciness and deliciousness and freshness, right? So this is a recipe I came across a couple years ago and I love it. I've shared it with everybody. And it's really, really great, especially for people who are a little bit more sensitive, who are prone to bacterial vaginosis, who are prone to yeast infections, right? So here's the thing that I make at least once a year. I make a batch of it, and then I freeze it, and then it's good to go, okay? So here's the recipe. So the first thing in the recipe is coconut oil. So I use coconut oil. So what you do is you take some coconut oil, put it in a little bowl. All right? Then you take lavender. Either you can take some lovely fresh lavender or essential oil lavender, then put a few drops of essential oil lavender in there as well. Then here's where it gets interesting. Okay? Here's where it really gets interesting, because there's a few different ways that you can do this recipe, okay? So your base is coconut oil and potentially some lavender, just to kind of help soften everything up, just to kind of help with some inflammation, right? That's what the lavender is there for, to just kind of like make everything pretty. But here is the power punch, because coconut oil is as a natural antibacterial, a natural antifungal, and then lavender as a natural anti-inflammatory, and just like a nice soft, just a nice softness. This is the power punch, okay? So there's a few different ways that you can do this. So the first way that you can do this is to use a couple drops of tea tree oil, melaleuca, right? So you can use some tea tree oil, throw a couple drops of tea tree oil in your coconut oil mixture, okay? Or if you don't want to use tea tree oil, then garlic. I'm just saying, garlic. This stuff is magic. This is why so many European people are so healthy, because we eat a lot of this stuff, right? But if you're prone to yeast infections or prone to bacterial or bacterial infections, or in general, whatever that looks like, right? There's that adage, what do they say? You can put yogurt, right? Like a Greek yogurt in your vagina, right? Because of the natural probiotics that are in it to kind of help cleanse your vagina, to kind of help balance that pH level. Well, garlic can do the same thing. So if you don't want to use a coconut oil, you can use a yogurt. I just like coconut oil better, and I'll tell you why. Because yogurt, you put it in, you can soak it in like a tampon and then put it inside of you, and that's really good. But just kind of like, I just feel like I get kind of like messy about it, like I'm just like and just like, and then it's white everywhere and it makes me think too much, and then I get all in my head about it. So that's why I like to use the coconut oil. So I take the coconut oil, I put some lavender, I put some tea tree oil, and if I'm not feeling tea tree oil, then I'll take some garlic, either an essential oil garlic, or actual garlic, and I kind of crush it up and chop it up really, really fine, really, 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 really nice, and I put that also in my mixture, because garlic is super powerful and super wonderful, also big time antibacterial, big time superfood, big time, right? So I take that mixture up and I put it in a bowl and I mix it up, and then what I do is I either take an ice cube tray, or I just like some parchment paper, and I just put little dabs of my mixture, and then I freeze it. And then I take it all out, and I put it in a bag, and then every time I'm feeling like, I'm a little funky in my junk, or I wore my bathing suit bottoms a little too long, or like I crossed my legs a little too much that day, or I drank a lot of beer and I'm waiting for my gluten outbreak to happen, right? I'll take one of those little discs that I've made, those frozen discs that are in my freezer, my superpower vaginal discs, and I'll pop one in when I go to sleep. So I pop one in when I go to sleep, and then I wake up and your vagina feels so much better. And the other reason why I love it to be coconut oil is that you wake up and you also have a natural lubrication. Just saying. Now you have a lube, right? So if you're in the mood for morning sex, all you gotta do is kind of just like bend over and be like, hey babe, hey, we're already good, right? So I'm just saying, there's so many different ways that we can take care of vaginas, but these are some of our favorite ways. So if you missed it at the beginning of this video, I talked about 7 different reasons why your junk might be a little bit funky, and then we wrapped up the rest of this episode today with 4 tips as to how you can keep your LabiBits so fresh and so clean. And I just gave you a superpower recipe that you can use all summer long, all year long, that will you know, help your vagina feel so, so good and so fresh and so clean. So thank you so much for watching. I love you women so much. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Have the best day ever. Bye.